Well, it really seems like Riot Forge is on a roll. Besides announcing 3 new games that are all coming out this year, they also gave Ruined King a next-gen update, which they celebrated by literally forging the blade of the Ruined King. They were also the ones to update the lore of a Forgotten Champion. And now they also gave us a gameplay trailer for their Mage Seeker game, after which they updated their website where we got even more info, and they even revealed their Collector's Edition. Which to me sounds like some really cool content to talk about, especially since this is a Riot Forge game. The point of Riot Forge is to spawn games that are based on lore, which is something League of Legends can't do. So by simply looking at the trailer, you may find a lot of references. But before we get into that, I have to correct myself. The Mage Seeker is not gonna be a roguelike. That is something I thought it would be because this game was made by Digital Sun, who previously made Moonlighter. And given the history of Riot Forge games, the studios usually make games using their previous genre. In this case, that's not the case, and that's really good. Because it is not a roguelike, they can really dive into the story of Sylas. Which also reminds me, for this video I'm gonna assume you already watched the base trailer, and I am gonna assume you know at least the very basics of what's happening in Demacia. Which means you know about Petricite, which is the material that absorbs magic, you know that Sylas was a Demacian prisoner, you know he broke out and started the Mage Rebellion, and you know that Demacia has Mage Seekers, which are the people who are hunting down mages. And of course, the nobles hate mages because in the past, mages almost destroyed the entire region. Okay, you know what, you don't need to know anything, I just summarized it all. One thing we have to mention though is that we don't know when this game is gonna take place. We don't know if it is retelling the events of the comics, or if it is happening after the latest story. Which would mean that Sylas finally returns to Demacia to fight the nobles. And in case you don't remember that, after Sylas broke out of the prison, the story ended with Sylas traveling to Freljord, where he met a group of Iceborn who agreed to help him with raiding Demacia, because some of the Freljordians already enjoyed raiding the south. That's just TLDR of the story. Theoretically, that part of the story was supposed to end with the cinematic, but we still don't know what happened at the end of the cinematic. Anyway, that's all the info we really need, so let's now dive into the actual trailer. At the very beginning, we can see Garen trying to execute Sylas. However, for about 2 frames, you can see that someone saved Sylas. They do have a blue cloak, which means that it is an insider, because blue cloaks are either worn by the nobles, the soldiers, or the Mage Seekers, but it's likely not a Mage Seeker because they don't have a half mask. Just remember that a lot of the nobles of Demacia are aware of the fact that the other nobles may be mages. They are all trying to hide it, so it is all just one massive hypocrisy. That's kind of the point of Demacia. It then cuts into some purple runes, which really remind us of Morgana. Which is definitely whom it could be, because Morgana is narrating the entire trailer. We then get a bunch of these story shots, which we already know from some of the other media. For example, some of these are similar to what we have seen in Sylas' teasers, while others are very similar to some scenes from the comics. Especially all the Mage Seekers trying to break into the homes of mages. Here you can see all the Mage Seekers with their half masks. They all wear the Grey Mark, which is a Petricite stone disc that absorbs magic, and you can see they captured a mage. Now, this next one is a reference to Sylas in the comic. Remember, when Sylas was a kid, he had the ability to see magic, which means he was a mage himself. Which normally would mean that he would be imprisoned in Demacia for being tainted by magic. However, such an ability was very valuable to the Mage Seekers, who were hunting down mages. And so, instead, Sylas kinda forcefully became a Mage Seeker, even though by many he was still seen as a foul tool to root out his own kind. Now in the next shot we can likely see the Rune Wars. I assume this could be part of a cutscene in the game, because the Rune Wars are the very origin of all the hatred towards mages. Because in the past humanity discovered the world runes, which allowed them to cast really powerful spells, which kickstarted the Rune Wars. Demacia was built inside the Petricite forests, which absorbed magic as a haven safe from all the wars. Again, yes, that's where the hatred actually originated from. Some thought that this could also be the scene where Kayle is casting down her judgment, because in the past, Kayle got mad at Morgana for killing her best champion, and she kinda lost her temper and she started raining down giant blades. But these are purple and Kayle's blades are gold, so I do believe this is actually the Rune Wars. Next we have a scene where Sylas met Lux in the prison, and in secret he helped her control her light. Of course, most of you know that Lux is a noble, so she shouldn't be using magic, but she is a mage nonetheless. And Sylas was there not only to help her, but also to not reveal her secrets to the other nobles. Of course, all of this appeared in the comics. And overall, this is an excellent storyline between Lux and Sylas. Unfortunately, in the end, the Crown Guard noticed that Sylas was meeting Lux, and they sentenced Sylas to die. Which is where this scene is from. And again, this is a direct reference to a scene from the comic. Just like this one. This is where he taps into Lux's magic and essentially kickstarts the Mage Rebellion. And after that, the trailer goes into actual gameplay. At the beginning, we can see Sylas having a duel against Garen in the royal courts. Based on the surroundings, this is definitely happening in the capital. We then have a scene that seems to be from the initial Mage Rebellion, which means that's probably where this game is gonna start. And in case you are wondering why in the background you can see just normal people fighting with weapons instead of casting spells, well, not all people who are part of the rebellion are mages. A lot of them are simply common people who have mages as their friends. Then we have a quick scene that shows us who might be Morgana. We can then see Morgana's magic open up what seems to be a secret base. This will most likely be our quest hub. We can then see Sylas fighting a really cool Demacian beast in the forests. It seems to be a lizard bear that shoots lightnings. I'm not sure if we have seen that beast before in the lore. Which also goes for this new red bug beast that's digging underground. This slightly yellowy area could be from the plains around the mountains, which makes me wonder, are we also gonna see the Dragon Guard? There's also this quick shot of Sylas unleashing Morgana's magic seemingly underneath Demacia. We also got a quick shot of Sylas's camp, which he built for the Mage Exiles. This place was referenced in a few of his stories in the past. For example, I believe this was referenced in his Scholar story when he first came out. That's the story where they recruited the one young boy into the rebellion. Anyway, it's cool that this camp was built underneath crumbling Demacian statues. Very iconic for what is happening in the game. Also, it would be really hard to guess if any of these NPCs are someone we already know. And then it cuts back into a fight in Demacia's capital. Specifically, this is likely inside the Mage Seeker's compound. That's based on the massive statue of a Mage Seeker in the center. And I have to say, I love the design on the Demacian Elite Guard. Next, there is this weird creature, which I have no idea what it is. It could be a target dummy, because it seems to be controlled by Morgana's magic, and it is dressed like a Mage Seeker. I mean, it does have the grey mark. But it could also simply be what happens to a Mage Seeker after they absorb a little bit too much magic. There is also this shot of Lux. Based on the hazy filter over it, I assume this is gonna be a scene from the past. Then we actually get to see Sylas fighting Morgana. So even though the two should be on the same side, there will probably be at least a little bit of a conflict between them. Then we get some quick cool shots of traversing the environment. Another cool shot of the red beast, except this time you can actually see that Lux is also in the arena. A quick shot of Sylas punching a Mage Seeker. Yet more people in his camp, with a view of burning Demacia in the background. A really big battle happening in the main plaza. We know this place from quite a few pieces of art that Riot has released in the past. And it all ends with Jarvan's epic arrival. Now, overall, the gameplay looks like a really good action game. And while that is really it for the trailer, we got more info about the game on their website. There we got some more quick gameplay teasers. We can see Sylas's ability to tap into the enemy magic. Specifically here you can see him choosing which ability he is going to use against his enemies. Next there is also a loop from his camp, and also the scene of his battle with the lizard bear. And below that there is a teaser for some of the characters who are going to appear in this game. When you click on them, it links you to their lore on the universe. That's a very cool detail. Which also reminds me that there is also a really cool detail if you click that one poster on the website, but I'm not gonna show what it does. You better go there yourself. But at least we got a confirmation that if you like any of these, you should be happy. Then we got 5 more screenshots. There is Sylas being executed, Sylas freeing mages from the Mage Seeker camp, or at least we know there is a Mage Seeker camp because of the banners with the grey mark. And I also like that they have a wanted poster of something that really looks like Tam Kench. There is also a scene of Sylas probably in the prisons fighting something with another one of the elite guards, another battle scene from the capital, and yet another scene from the rebellion. Lastly, we can mention that this game will have 3 editions. There is gonna be the standard edition, there is gonna be the deluxe edition with 3 Sylas skins. Now, remember that this is a single player game. Pack of what I assume are 3 skins for spells. I hope that is not actually locking gameplay. As well as some cosmetic items for your quest hub. Here I wanna remind everyone, if you don't like pre-ordering and if you don't like deluxe editions, don't buy them. Be responsible with your money, nobody is forcing you into buying anything. And lastly, we also get the collector's edition. This one looks really cool, besides the game itself. You also get a vinyl version of the soundtrack, you get an awesome print, you get 2 pins for all the pin collectors, you get a hardcover art book, but you also get a hardcover of the Lux comics. These are awesome because the Lux comics always had soft cover. So this is gonna be a very unique collector's item. And lastly, there is the statue. Now, I've seen some people hesitate on this one, and I do understand why with this pose and the style. But as someone who likes to collect the unlocked styled statues, I'm kinda happy this one is going to fit right in. And all the environmental details are a really cool touch, such as the Mage Seeker banner or the hidden Garen sword. But again, at the end of the day, remember to be responsible with your money. If you like it, you can buy it. If you don't, don't. And that is all for this update. The release date was confirmed to be 14th of April. And for your pre-order, you will get a skin for a silver wing, which I assume is gonna be in your hub, but I have no idea what that one's gonna do. Obviously, I am gonna stream this game on release. I will also definitely make a video covering all the lore that you should know about before jumping into this game. Even though I'm pretty sure they are gonna tell you all the story you need anyway. But yeah, I'm definitely streaming it, which is something a lot of people really enjoyed lately, especially with me jumping into other kinds of madness. Speaking of which, we are gonna explore Demacia and its surroundings, right? I hope things are not gonna get too creepy. Hello there! In case you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe and do the other things, as well as you can become a member of the channel, because there I am constantly teasing future videos. So do any of those things.